So welcome again to You Unfolded. This is Wednesday's Live and Learn. The other one coming in now. And today we are talking about Mindful Eating 101. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Just a little heads up, I do have this one with me today. Her and I have been feeling a little under the weather these past few days. She had an emergency pet visit this morning, so she's going to be hanging out here with me today. So you'll be seeing her stick her little head out and the other jealous one coming in and out. So I am going to try to keep it short today because of that, because I'm under the weather and she's also not her best. So mindful eating. So first of all, mindfulness is actually a word that, and a practice actually, that has been spreading like wildfire recently. So I know many of you have heard of the term mindfulness. Mindfulness has been spreading around, and it's a good thing, but we do need to define what mindfulness truly is, especially mindful eating. So first of all, mindfulness, how do we define it? What is the definition of it? And it's one of those words that it sounds exactly like what it means. It's about being mindful of you, of your current state of mind, actually paying mind to what you are doing and how you feel in the process. And this is very important when it comes to eating, how we were talking about last week in the Live and Learn of why diets don't work. They don't work because there's that focus on it being one way as a standard for everyone, and there's no real standard. You know, we all are the ones who define what is healthy for us. So when it comes to practicing mindfulness, it opens that up. It opens up you being able to be mindful, or minding you, finding what is healthy for you, finding what is working for you, finding your path. So really, to give you a more textbook definition of what mindfulness is, it's actually the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. And it is actually something that is used a lot as a therapeutic technique. It's a mental state achieved by focusing your awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting your feelings, your thoughts, and bodily sensations. So already we can see that mindfulness is actually a great way to reduce stress, but also bring some peace when it comes to eating. I think really one of the easiest ways to identify what mindful eating is to actually identify what it's not. So we'll start there. First of all, mindful eating is not about dieting. So hear a lot of people out there talking about mindful eating in terms of paying attention to hunger cues, which is part of it, but actually making it into a diet to lose weight. Talking about, I have to learn to be more mindful of what I eat so I can lose weight. Or talking about it as the secret component that is missing to your weight loss. And mindfulness is not about dieting. Mindful eating is also not about measuring or weighing food. That already is taking the trust out of yourself. You're again going back to standards that are inadequate. Because who defines what is the appropriate portion or what is the appropriate weight of food to eat? It's going to be very individualized, and mindfulness is not about that. It's not about knowing the proper portions of the foods to eat. It's not about being mindful of your portions, because I hear a lot of people say, I have to be mindful of my portions. And that's not what mindful eating is about. It's also not about restricting or avoiding foods. So I did mention briefly last time that a concern a lot of people have is about their cravings. So they start to say, I need to control my cravings. So I need to be mindful. They start using the word mindful as well, of being able to make healthier choices. And that also is not being mindful of what your body's asking for. What is the craving really about? Because mindfulness opens up more than just the eating portion. So sometimes when we're craving something, we pay attention to it and really ask, okay, is this craving really for something physical, for a food, or is there something more that I'm in need of? Am I craving to be around others? Am I craving fun and excitement? So it could be about other things. So mindful eating is not about avoiding anything or restricting anything. It's not about, again, counting fat grams or calories. It's not about that. It's definitely not about worrying about your body size or the number on the scale. So things are a little bit more clear now, right? Now that we know what it's not, it's kind of like, okay, I know mindfulness is not any of these things. Now, how do we start to practice it? So now that we know what it's not, we can go over what it is. So it is about a peaceful eating relationship with food according to your body's needs. So it's not just about what a peaceful eating relationship looks like to others. It's based on your body's needs. It's also about eating to support your body's natural, healthy state. So again, we said it wasn't about avoiding or restricting anything. It's actually the opposite. It's about eating to support your natural, healthy state. And this is a major one. I'm going to actually break it down even more. Mindfulness is about balance, about choice, about wisdom, and acceptance. So I'm going to break these words down a little bit more because they're actually a lot deeper than what we use them. First of all, with balance. Many times when we think of balance, we think of a literal balance, like a scale. So what I see a lot is, in terms of having balance with your eating, is, I eat my salads and I have my cookie too. That's balance. And that's not what balance means. Or, I had French fries, so I'm going to run an extra mile tomorrow. And they call that balance. I have to balance it out. That is not what balance means. Balance is actually, because again, before I explain what balance means, again, the reason why that's not what balance is and why that is unhealthy is because we're going back to the good food, bad food. And the moment you go back to this is good, this is bad, you're getting sucked into the cycle of dieting. And we talked about that last week. If you want to check out the replay, it's on my Facebook page and also on YouTube. But just to recap a little bit, the moment we tell ourselves we can't have something or we forbid something physiologically, our body asks for it more. So it builds this very unhealthy, unsteady relationship with food. So balance, actually, what balance means is calm behavior. It means a calm state of mind. So basically it means peace of mind. That's what balance means. And you can look it up in the dictionary if you like. Of course, there's the literal definition of the balance of, weighing something. But what it actually means to us health-wise is a calm state of mind, or stability in emotional and mental health is what that means. So mindful eating is about bringing that peace in your emotional and your mental state in terms of food. So it's not, again, it's not about, oh, I'm going to have a cookie and a salad that's balanced. No, it's having peace with all foods and not labeling anything as good or bad. Choice. So I mentioned mindful eating is about choice. So because we mentioned earlier, it's not about restricting or avoiding. It's about you having the choice of what it is that you desire to have at that moment. You know, whether if you're, you know, I did see a post recently from a fellow dietitian that, you know, I don't know if any of you know about those ice creams, the halo tops that they're non-dairy and they're high in protein. So a lot of people claim it to be the healthier ice cream. So, but there are some that may like the taste better, or some people like myself, I'm lactose intolerant. So as much as I would, let's say, want to have regular ice cream, it does not have a great effect on me. So I would choose something like the Halo Top. I think it's called Halo Top. I hope I'm saying that right, but like the Halo Top ice cream. So that's my choice. That's another person's choice. Whether they choose the regular ice cream or non-dairy ice cream, it's their choice. It's not based on whether it is quote unquote healthier in general. It's mindful eating is about your choice, identifying that choice. It's about wisdom. And this one's a deep one, actually. Wisdom is discernment of what's right or wrong. And actually, that discernment, you determine what is right or wrong in terms of eating for you. And again, it's not about what is healthier in general, what's considered to have the most nutrition either. It could be also what feels good and tastes good to you. So again, going back to me with the lactose intolerance, there's tons of studies out there, you know, showing how dairy can be so healthy, how yogurt has probiotics, which yes, there are many people who, I may even say, yes, if you need some probiotics and you're able to tolerate dairy, get your yogurt, blah, blah, blah. But that is not a good choice for me because of my lactose intolerant. So that's bringing out your inner wisdom when it comes to mindful eating, is knowing what works and what doesn't for you. And I mentioned also mindful eating is acceptance. So this one's a major one. It's acceptance of what works for you and what doesn't. So it's, with me, again, I keep using myself as an example because it's the easiest one, but being lactose intolerant, when I tell some people that, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, or oh, that sucks. Oh man, you must be so deprived. I hear all these negative things, or they'll say, oh, you know, that sucks because I love cheese. I would not be able to ever give it up. And it's like, well, it's, first of all, it's not my choice. I mean, that to be lactose intolerant, but I also have to be acceptant of my situation. If I fall prey to all those thoughts that maybe for someone else, yeah, they don't need to be, they're not lactose intolerant, so they don't need to stay away from dairy, so they can enjoy all the dairy they like. So they have these views of, oh, if I had to give it up, I would hate it. So if I fell prey to those thoughts, then I would not be in acceptance of what I am not able to tolerate. And that can lead to consequences for my health as well. So acceptance is a big one when it comes to mindful eating, you know, favoring what you are able to have and what you're not able to have, and being at peace again with that. There are so many food choices out there. And this is especially important for people who, like myself, are intolerant or are sensitive or even have allergies to certain foods. There's this whole thing built around, well, oh, you're deprived now because you can't have all these things that just about everything has that ingredient in it. And the truth is we have come a long way there, and there's so, like I said, it's such a variety of food choices out there. So the moment that we accept, okay, this is something I'm not able to have, but it opens doors for me to be creative and try different types of things that I would have probably never thought of trying. And that can also lead to that balance and peace and that good relationship with food. So mindful eating is also about eating consciously in a way to make your body feel well. So it's exactly what I just mentioned. Now it's paying close attention to how your body feels with certain foods. And sometimes, you know what, if there are certain things that you eat and maybe they make you feel a little bad, but the taste of it is more worth it than than the symptoms you get. The symptoms are doable, you know, you can deal with them. Then that's your choice and you're at peace with it and you still feel well. So it's important also to know that, you know, paying attention to those cues, but also not knowing when you're okay with it is really the big thing, and not letting other people being the ones to dictate, you know, you're having too much of this. That's not good for you. Don't eat more of that. That's enough. You know, you being the one to consciously make that choice. And a big one is being aware of your surroundings. So with mindful eating, it's also about your environment, how you're being aware of your environment and how that affects your eating. So for example, sometimes when you're around great company, you know, you have such a great time and it almost seems like the food tastes so much better and you digest it better, you know, you do well with it because you're around a good crowd. And sometimes when it's the opposite, when you're around a table and there's arguments or there's tension, you can feel indigestion or not feel hungry or actually get a craving for different foods or get a trigger to want to eat more to compensate. Mindful eating is about also paying attention to those cues, to your surroundings, how that is affecting the way that you eat, and making the choice to surround yourself or be in an environment that's more conducive to your peace when eating, to make not only the food taste better, but to make you feel better and to have it fall better in your stomach, to digest it better. And also mindful eating is about being in the moment. So this is a big one. It sounds so easy or it sounds like, okay, you know, duh. But it's not actually a very easy thing for most of us to do. I can say for myself, something that my husband and I love to do a lot is our time to wind down is eating and watching TV. And not to say that that's always a bad thing. However, it's actually really, when you eat, it's definitely very important to be present, not just with, you know, what you're eating, because I know something that's focused a lot when it comes to mindful eating is the taste of the food, the texture, the smell, enjoying what it looks like. But it is so much more than that. It's also taking that pause, that much needed pause in the day, because we are constantly go, 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 go. I mean, we're in a time where it's like we go from one screen to the other practically, and we have our phones with us all the time. And I'm sure many of you have witnessed, or maybe you are one of the culprits when you go out. Almost everybody is on their phone, hardly ever having a conversation with each other, hardly ever talking to anybody. They talk more to people through the screen than they do face to face. And whether or not you're sitting down to eat with someone, or you're if you're sitting down, even if it's by yourself, it's so important to be in that moment, to pause, to just disconnect, because then we lead to burnout. And this constant asking of our attention, that's exactly what we're doing. We're constantly allowing ourselves to be available all the time, at every moment of the day, that the moment that we want to take a break, it's almost like we can't, because there's a notification coming in, or somebody's is calling us or texting us, or or emailing us, or I mean, I know some of you are probably like, I don't even do email, but some people still do. But that constant asking of your attention is not letting you truly be in the moment, truly taking that pause that you need, not just mentally, but physically. It's so important also for digestion, actually. I mentioned this briefly just a few moments ago, but it's so important for your digestion to really do it slowly, really chew enough to break it down enough. Digestion starts in your mouth, starts with the chewing process. And when we're distracted, we're barely paying attention to that process. And it can lead to indigestion and a bunch of other issues digestive wise. So it can make a meal that would probably be healthy unhealthy. So it is not just a psychological thing or an emotional thing, but physically our bodies need that moment to really slow down and have that focus be on the digestive process and enjoy the food. I mean, when I have done this, I have been guilty of this, of eating in front of the desk, eating while I work. And it just does not make the food pleasant, because I work talking on the phone with patients all the time. So sometimes I'll have to eat something really quick, make a phone call, and while the phone call can take long, food gets cold, having to finish it all cold. I mean, it's not enjoyable. You're not enjoying your meal either. So these are all the things what the basics of what mindful eating is. We know it to be, again, paying attention to those hunger cues. That's why I titled it, Am I Hungry? Because that's what we know mindful eating to be about, to pay attention to when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full. And that's true, but there's so much more to mindful eating. Mindful eating is not just about making sure that you're eating what is healthy for you. It's actually about making sure that you are in tune with what your body needs, that you are at peace with you and your body and what it can tolerate, what it may not be able to tolerate, or what you like or what you may not like. And knowing that it's your choice, that no one else makes that choice for you, knowing that you are your own best nutritionist, your own best doctor. And as long as if you need guidance and you need more help in that, of course, there's practitioners like myself and others out there that can help you find your inner wisdom. But it's about knowing that you are the ultimate wise sage in terms of your eating. So that is it for today. That's what Mindful Eating 101 is about. And I'm here grabbing my phone really quickly saying hi to you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm going to check here on Facebook just to make sure if you have any questions. So I do have Kate Molina on Facebook that she says it makes her feel like a bad mom because she puts her son in front of the TV to distract him so he eats more. So no, don't feel like a bad mom. Hey, you know, that is different. Again, you're a mama, you want to get him to also be able to eat well. So, and we're busy. So one of the important things though, when it comes to that, when it comes to kids, is to not always make it a habit or actually sit down together and eat and watch the TV together. Make the eating more about being around family than being a distraction away from family. Because again, the eating process is so much more than just the physical. You know, it's nourishment for the body, but also nourishment for the soul. So I'm just checking, make sure if there are any other questions. Let me know if there are any other questions, but otherwise that is it. Again, like I mentioned before, the video, the replay will be available on my Facebook page, and it's also going to be on YouTube. So you can find me there as You Unfolded, just like on my page and on Instagram. And actually next week, I will be coming on Tuesday. So it's going to switch over to Tuesdays at 8 for a few weeks. And so next week, it's going to be Tuesday at 8. And what we're going to talk about next week is intuitive eating. So we talked about the basics of mindful eating today. We're going to go deeper into intuitive eating and getting to trust your intuition to tell you what is healthy for you. And it's going to be a little bit more practical than what it probably sounded like today. So, all right, I'll see you all next week. You have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.